Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Saturday, January 28, 2023, and giving you our team picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Virginia Cavaliers vs Boston College Eagles. The Boston College Eagles visit John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia on Saturday for an Atlantic Coast Conference clash with the number 7 ranked Virginia Cavaliers. Boston College improved to 10-11 overall and 4-6 in ACC play following its 75-65 victory over the Louisville Cardinals on Wednesday. Quinton Post was the leading scorer for Boston College with 22 points. The Boston College Eagles have only won 2 of their last 6 games, and the wins were against 2 of the bottom squads in the standings in Notre Dame and Louisville, who have 0 and 1 conference wins, respectively. Virginia is clicking, winning 5 consecutive games highlighted by victories against North Carolina and Wake Forest. Our team pick is Virginia Cavaliers minus 16 points. Furthermore, the Eagles are abysmal offensively. They are only averaging 100.5 points per 100 possessions, pegging them 246th in the country, and they are going to struggle to score. Virginia has an elite defense that ranks 25th in adjusted defensive efficiency. Virginia is also averaging a remarkable 15 more points per 100 possessions than Boston College, making this spread more than reasonable in the Cavaliers' favor. West Virginia Mountaineers vs Auburn Tigers. On Saturday, the number 15 ranked Auburn Tigers visit WVU Coliseum Morgantown, West Virginia to play the West Virginia Mountaineers. Auburn dropped to 16-4 and 6-2 in Southeastern Conference play following its 79-63 loss to the Texas A&M Aggies. The loss snapped a 5-game winning streak for Auburn and knocked the Tigers out of second place in the SEC. According to the College Basketball Power Index, West Virginia has faced the number 7 rated strength of schedule, and Auburn's strength of schedule is 63rd. Even against the grueling competition, the Mountaineers are better than the Tigers in protecting the basketball, shooting 2s, shooting 3s, and free throws. West Virginia also has a slight edge on defense, rebounding, and the home court advantage. The Tigers are rated higher in the AP and coaches poll because no matter how good the metrics are for West Virginia, wins and losses influence the public perception the most. Our team pick is West Virginia minus 3.5 points. The Mountaineers are better than their current record indicates, but they need a win in a game like this to build their case for a potential NCAA at-large bid before they get back to their grueling Big 12 schedule. Auburn has not been battle-tested the same as West Virginia, and I see the Tigers falling short in this one. UCF Knights vs Temple Owls. The Temple Owls visit Edition Financial Arena in Orlando, Florida on Saturday to play the UCF Knights in an American Athletic Conference clash. Temple improved to 13-9 overall and 7-2 in AAC play following its 79-76 victory over the South Florida Bulls on Wednesday. Caliph Battle was the leading scorer for Temple with 25 points, including 7 scored in overtime. Temple Owls are winning games, but the metrics don't particularly stand out. They rank 114th in Ken Pomeroy's ratings, while UCF is 57th. UCF has played 2 of their last 3 games on the road, with the only home game against number 3 Houston, which they were not expected to beat. They have been stellar at home, winning 3 of their 4 AAC home games, covering in all 3 wins in that span. Our team pick is UCF Knights minus 8 points. Furthermore, the Knights are the much better offensive squad. They are averaging 5.1 more points per 100 possessions than Temple. The Owls' top strength is defense, however, UCF is still the much better defensive squad. Temple is conceding 100 points per 100 possessions, while UCF is at 97 points per 100, good for 54th in DI. UCF has averaged a stellar 88 points in their last 3 home games. Northwestern Wildcats vs Minnesota Golden Gophers. The Minnesota Golden Gophers play a Big Ten game on the road Saturday when visiting the Northwestern Wildcats at the Welsh Ryan Arena in Evanston, Illinois. Minnesota dropped to 7-12 overall and 1-8 in Big Ten play following its 61-57 loss to the Indiana Hoosiers on Wednesday. Minnesota has lost 4 straight and 6 of the last 7. Northwestern is a team of destiny, it seems. The Wildcats appear poised and prepared for the next challenge, with time to impress the selection committee with more victories. They'll need to beat teams like Minnesota to do so, which is why I believe they will win convincingly at home Saturday. Minnesota is missing 2 key players and has been through the ringer with nothing to show. It would take an uncharacteristic showing from the Gophers to cover against an experienced game-ready Wildcat squad, itching to prove it's the real deal. Our team pick is Northwestern minus 12 points. Northwestern's lockdown defense will create problems for undermanned Minnesota. The offensively inept Gophers could struggle to score more than 55 points in this game. I'll bet on Northwestern to win straight up and cover. Creighton Blue Jays vs Xavier Musketeers. The number 13 ranked Musk visit Chi Health Center Omaha in Omaha, Nebraska on Saturday for a Big East clash against the Creighton Blue Jays. Xavier improved to 17-4 overall and 9-1 in Big East play following its 82-79 victory over UConn on Wednesday. Xavier has won 2 straight and 13 of the last 14. The Musketeers are first in the Big East. The defenses as of late have shown a big difference as Xavier is giving up 79.4 points in their last 5 games, while Creighton is allowing 65 points in their previous 3 games heading into this matchup. In the previous 3 games, there is a slight difference in the assist-to-turnover ratio, as the Musketeers have a 1.794 ratio in that stretch, while the Blue Jays have a 2.043 ratio throughout those games. Our team pick is Creighton Blue Jays minus 5.5 points. Xavier struggles against a 3-point shot on the road, allowing teams to shoot 36.3%. Creighton shoots 36.4% from 3-point range at home and will light up the nets at home. Notre Dame Fighting Irish vs Louisville Cardinals. The Louisville Cardinals visit Purcell Pavilion in South Bend, Indiana on Saturday for an Atlantic Coast Conference clash with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Louisville dropped to 2-18 overall and 0-9 in ACC play, following its 75-65 loss to the Boston College Eagles on Wednesday. Louisville has lost each of its last 9, following its only 2 wins of the season versus Western Kentucky and Florida A&M. Neither team has showcased a ton of promise this season, but Notre Dame should certainly run away with this game. The Fighting Irish are a solid offensive team, and Louisville does not have the firepower to keep pace on Saturday. The Cardinals tend to struggle in their trips to South Bend, covering the spread just twice in their last 9 games. Our team pick is Notre Dame minus 10.5 points. Notre Dame is 9-2 in its last 11 Saturday home games, and it should not be bothered by a Louisville team that is winless on the road. The Cardinals have only covered the spread 6 times in their last 20 games, so they are accustomed to getting blown out. Wake Forest Demon Deacons vs North Carolina State Wolfpack. The North Carolina State Wolfpack visits Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem, North Carolina on Saturday for an Atlantic Coast Conference clash with the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. North Carolina State improved to 16-5 overall and 6-4 in ACC play, following its 85-82 victory over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on Tuesday. Jarkel Joyner was the leading scorer for North Carolina State with 28 points. Wake Forest will pick up a victory on its home court on Saturday when hosting North Carolina State, but the play here is over. The over has cashed in each of Wake Forest's last 10, and on the season, the over has cashed in 15 of the Demon Deacons' 21 games. Wake Forest is averaging 77.4 points per game, and its defense is a little bit below average, allowing an average of 72.7 points per game. Final score prediction: our team pick is Wake Forest Demon Deacons win. Oklahoma Sooners vs Alabama Crimson Tide. The Alabama Crimson Tide go back on the road Saturday to Norman, OK, for a matchup with the Oklahoma Sooners. Alabama comes into Saturday with 18 wins on the year, riding a 9-game winning streak, following a 3-point come-from-behind win against Mississippi State. Defensively, Alabama struggled in their last game, allowing 63 points, but allowed only 27 in the second half on 46.4% shooting, and the Crimson Tide forced 15 total turnovers. Offensively, Alabama shot the ball poorly, making only 36.8% of their shots and 17.9% from the three-point throw line to score of 66 points, but scored 37 in the second half to erase a 7-point halftime deficit. The Crimson Tide have won 9 straight games and 6 straight road games. They are very good offensively, even on the road where they are scoring more than 80 points per game. They've taken advantage of their opportunities at the charity stripe, making over 81% of their free throws in their last 3 games. They are very aggressive on the offensive glass, grabbing more than 10 offensive rebounds per game, which will give them more scoring chances. They also cut back on their turnovers in recent games and won't give the Sooners a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Sooners usually play well defensively, but they struggled in recent games, giving up more than 70 points per game in their last 3 games, and will have a hard time slowing down the Crimson Tide in this game. The Sooners have lost 4 of their last 5 games and 3 of their last 4 home games. They're not very good offensively, and they played worse in recent games, averaging less than 60 points per game in their last 3 games, while making less than 40% of their shots. They don't rebound the ball as well as the Crimson Tide and won't get a lot of extra scoring opportunities against them. They've also been careless with the ball, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Crimson Tide, who average more than 5 steals per game on the road. Our team pick is Alabama Crimson Tide -6 points. The Crimson Tide are very good defensively, and they have played better in recent games, holding their last 3 opponents under 65 points per game. They won't have trouble keeping Oklahoma's offense in check. Go with Alabama to cover the spread. Missouri Tigers vs Iowa State Cyclones. The number 12 ranked Iowa State Cyclones visit Mizzou Arena in Columbia, Missouri on Saturday to play the Missouri Tigers in a Big 12 SEC showdown. Iowa State improved to 15-4 overall and 6-2 in SEC play following its 80-76 victory over number 5 ranked Kansas State. Iowa State has won 2 of its last 3 and 8 of the last 10. The Cyclones are tied for first place in the Big 12 with Kansas State and Texas. There's a reason why the Iowa State Cyclones are 12th in the sport while the Missouri Tigers are unranked right now. When diving into the assist-to-turnover ratio throughout the season, there is a mixture as Iowa State is 51st in the sport with a 1.254 ratio, while Missouri is 12th in the nation with a 1.478 ratio up to this point. Looking at the defenses in the last 5 games before this matchup, the Cyclones are allowing 63.2 points per game, while the Tigers are giving up 78.6 points per game. Our team pick Iowa State Cyclones -1.5 points. All in all, go with the Iowa State Cyclones to cover the spread in this game. Indiana State Sycamores vs Northern Iowa Panthers. The Northern Iowa Panthers will be in Indiana Saturday afternoon for a game against the Indiana State Sycamores. Northern Iowa comes into Saturday 3 games above .500 after winning 4 of the last 5, including 3 in a row, following an 11-point victory against Valparaiso. Defensively, Northern Iowa controlled the game, allowing only 66 points on 37.9% shooting, and the Panthers forced 10 total turnovers. Offensively, Northern Iowa was by far the better team, making 50% of their shots and 35.3% from beyond the arc, leading to 77 points in 40 minutes. When looking into the adjusted efficiency margin provided by KenPom, Northern Iowa is 170th in the sport with a -0.21 rating, while Indiana State is 128th in the country with a +3.77 rating so far. Looking at the defenses throughout the last few games, there is a difference there as the Panthers are giving up 68.8 points in their last 5 games, while the Sycamores are allowing 76.7 points in their previous 3 games. Our team pick is Indiana State Sycamores -6.5 points. Go with the Indiana State Sycamores to cover the spread in their own building. DePaul Blue Demons vs Marquette Golden Eagles. The Marquette Golden Eagles continue a road trip Saturday afternoon with a game in Chicago, Illinois against the DePaul Blue Demons. Marquette comes into Saturday ranked number 16 in the nation with 16 wins on the year after winning 4 of the last 5, including 2 in a row, following a 21-point blowout of Seton Hall. Defensively, Marquette controlled the game, allowing only 53 points on 45.9% shooting and forced 26 turnovers 40 minutes. Offensively, Marquette set the pace, pouring in 74 points after 37 in each half on 53.7% shooting and 33.3% from beyond the arc. The Golden Eagles should not have too much trouble against a DePaul team reeling from a tough loss and depleted at the guard position. Marquette's ability to get to the basket and make easy baskets will bode well against a Blue Demons defense that has been largely forgiving to opposing offenses. Marquette does a better job at protecting the basketball and, despite its rebounding deficiencies, should be able to hang on the glass against a DePaul team that has been subpar on the glass. Our team pick is Marquette minus 10 points. This is the second of 4 fairly light games for Marquette in the Big East schedule, before the team takes on UConn on the road and Xavier at home in 2 out of 3 games. The Golden Eagles will be up for this game and pull away for a fairly easy win. Murray State Racers vs Missouri State Bears. The Missouri State Bears end a 2-game homestand Saturday afternoon with a game in Kentucky against Murray State. Missouri State comes into Saturday 1 game above .500 after winning 3 of the last 4, following a 4-point victory against UConn. Defensively, Missouri State was fantastic, allowing only 59 points on 35.4% shooting. Offensively, Missouri State did just enough, making nearly 38% of their shots and 20% from the 3-point line, but knocked down 14 free throws to secure the victory. Home court will be a big advantage in this game between 2 evenly matched teams. Both Missouri State and Murray State lost by 4 points to conference co-leader Southern Illinois, and they both lost to co-leader Belmont by double digits. Murray State has covered the number in 2 straight and 3 of the last 4, and the Racers have covered the spread in each of their last 3 played on their home court. Our team pick is Murray State Racers minus 1.5 points. Missouri State has failed to cover the spread in each of its last 2, and the biggest problem for the Bears is their offense, which is scoring just 65.5 points per game and shoots only 43.2%. Murray State is shooting slightly better at 44.4% and scoring 5.4 points more per game than Missouri State at 70.9 points per game and will be in the confines of its own gymnasium. Rhode Island Rams vs LaSalle Explorers. The LaSalle Explorers go back on the road Saturday to Kingston, Rhode Island for a game against the Rhode Island Rams. LaSalle comes into Saturday 4 games below .500 on a 4-game losing streak following a 7-point loss against Davidson. Offensively, LaSalle was terrible against Davidson, making less than 34% of their shots and only 27.8% from beyond the arc and committed 14 turnovers in the loss. Defensively, LaSalle was outmatched as Davidson scored 32 points in each half on 41.8% shooting and 40.9% from beyond the arc. While the Rams have yet to win a road contest this season, they have been effective at home with a 6-5 mark thus far. In the first matchup versus LaSalle, Uri won the rebounding battle but was outscored 40-38 in the paint, surprising for a Rams team that thrives inside. With that in mind, I don't expect a repeat performance from the Explorers in the rematch. Rhode Island has done an outstanding performance this season in keeping opponents' field goal percentage down and now faces a LaSalle team that is 322nd in the country in field goal percentage and is coming off a game in which it shot just 33% from the floor. Our team pick is Rhode Island minus 6.5 points. Uri should dominate the glass and limit the number of second chances LaSalle gets in this game. Ride with the home team in this game. Fordham Rams vs George Washington Colonials. The George Washington Colonials end a 2-game homestand Saturday afternoon with a game in the Bronx against Fordham. George Washington comes into Saturday 2 games above .500 after winning for the last 5, including 3 in a row, after a 1-point victory in overtime against St. Joseph's. Defensively, George Washington did just enough, allowing only 91 points, including just 12 in the overtime on 46.8% shooting, but forced 11 turnovers to get the victory. Offensively, George Washington was the better team, making 42.2% of their shots and 42.3% from beyond the arc, while knocking down 27 free throws, leading to the win. The Colonials will cover the spread, and the Rams will win straight up in this A-10 matchup from Nick. Fordham doesn't have a much better ATS record than George Washington, despite having 5 more straight-up wins, and will be in for a tough game on Saturday. George Washington is a solid offensive squad, top 50 in FG%, that takes better care of the basketball than Fordham. The Rams scored 51 in the second half of their last game, but that was an aberration for a team that's 227th nationally in offensive efficiency. They're 294th in field goal percentage and 250th in three-point percentage this season as well. Our team pick is George Washington covers. Fordham is just 6-4 at TS versus teams over .500 and 4-3 at TS versus those teams at home. The Rams will win outright at home but won't cover. LSU Tigers vs Texas Tech Red Raiders. The Texas Tech Red Raiders visit Pete Maravich Assembly Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Saturday to play the LSU Tigers in a Big 12 Sec showdown. Texas Tech dropped to 10-10 overall and 0-8 in Big 12 action, following its 76-61 loss to West Virginia on Wednesday. Texas Tech has struggled of late, losing each of its last 8 and is last in the Big 12. This is a case where something has got to give. Both of teams are riding long losing streaks, so one of them will have to snap it. I think this one is a no-brainer as LSU has just been dreadful over the past few weeks. Texas Tech has been more competitive in its losses and plays in a better conference, with a ridiculous 6 top 20 teams among its 10 members. They will welcome the change of scenery to play against an easier opponent than they are used to in the Big 12. Meanwhile, LSU has struggled mightily in what is an easier conference this year. Our team pick is Texas Tech minus 1.5 points. Take Texas Tech, you're giving up the points. Toledo Rockets vs Bowling Green Falcons. The Bowling Green Falcons continue a road trip up north Saturday afternoon with a game in Toledo, against the Toledo Rockets. Bowling Green comes into Saturday 10-10 on the year riding a 2-game win streak after a 22-point blowout victory against Central Michigan. Defensively, Bowling Green dominated the game, allowing only 61 points on 36.4% shooting, and the Falcons forced 13 turnovers in the win. Offensively, Bowling Green was lights out, making 55.3% of their shots and 52.6% from beyond the arc, leading to 83 points after a 52-point first half. This game should be a lot of fun. Both teams come into this game playing well, riding winning streaks. Both teams have excellent offenses and don't play a lot of defense, so expect a lot of points in a fast-paced game. While Toledo has been excellent at home, they barely survived against a weak Eastern Michigan team, while Bowling Green has blown out their last 2 opponents, so they come in playing slightly better. Our team pick is Bowling Green to cover. Plus, in head-to-head matchups, the road team is 5-1-1 against in the last 7 meetings between these two. This is a rivalry game and I expect nothing less than a barn burner. Take Bowling Green to cover. Akron Zips vs Ohio Bobcats. The Ohio Bobcats finish a 2-game homestand Saturday afternoon with a game in Akron against the Akron Zips. Ohio comes into Saturday 2 games above .500 on a 2-game win streak following a 12-point victory against Western Michigan. Defensively, Ohio did just enough, allowing only 76 points on 46.3% shooting, but the Bobcats won the rebounding battle by 8 to secure the win. Offensively, Ohio was the better team, making 50% of their shots and 34.6% from beyond the arc, leading to 88 points in 40 minutes. This is going to be a matchup where 2 teams with different styles take the floor. Ohio is an offensive team that has plenty of weapons, but they have had their issues on the defensive end of the floor this season. Meanwhile, Akron is an average team offensively, but they are stout on the defensive end of the floor. Our team pick is Akron Zips minus 6 points. The Zips have been great at limiting opposing teams on the offensive end, ranking 66th in field goal percentage defense, 41.3% this season. Akron is a perfect 10-0 at home this season, while Ohio has posted just a 2-7 mark as the visiting team on the year. Given the Zip success at home and the Bobcats' road struggles, take the hosts in this contest.